Hey there investors, welcome to another video. In this video we'll be covering Microsoft. The ticker symbol for Microsoft is MSFT. And the reason we'll be looking at Microsoft in this video is because of unusual option activity. Remember, we look at unusual option activity because we want to try to follow the smart money. The smart money, as we mentioned, is made up of large, sophisticated institutional investors with buying power in the millions. And these are investors who are either buying large volumes of calls thinking that the price of a stock will go up very quickly, or buying large volumes of puts thinking that the price will go down very quickly. And the great thing that options tell us is that they give us a time frame, which is the expiration of these contracts, and they also give us a strike price, which is an indication of where investors think the price is going to move. And as investors ourselves, we can try to take advantage of all that information so that we can try to follow some of the smart money's trades and take a more conservative position to see if we can make a return on our investment. Remember, investors, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Please remember to check out the disclaimer in the description below, as well as other information that will be covered in this video. So with that, let's dive right into Microsoft. So today was sort of a mixed day. A few of the stocks that have been highly traded, such as the Neo stocks and Bitcoin stocks and all these other hot IPOs like Airbnb and what have you, DoorDash, all those stocks kind of came back down from those highs, and we saw a big rally in blue chip stocks, or the big tech companies like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and stocks like that, as well as new record highs in the S&P 500. So a lot of the blue chip stocks have been gaining momentum after being heavy for some time. They've been kind of dragging along and somewhat consolidating, as you can see, but Microsoft has been somewhat steady, and it looks like is now coming off of this new trajectory. And so with that, we want to look at what unusual option activity is telling us and what we can do as investors using this information. And if you guys remember, in my previous videos I talked about how I am subscribed to Market Rebellion, which is a forum that is ran by John and Pete and Jarian, which are option traders on the CNBC News channel. And this is a subscription that I am subscribed to. So I like to share sometimes some of the trades that they put out. And essentially they do the same format that we've been doing on the channel, is putting out these trade ideas for the week. So they like to do typically weekly ideas where they look at specific stocks based on levels and based on indicators that they've graphed out and used to build out algorithms off of that have worked in the past. So from my experience, most of their trades, I would say if not all of them, have been either hitting their targets or pretty spot on. So they've been very good at putting out these trade ideas, and I think they're pretty good trade ideas as well. They usually give a summary of the trade, some technical analysis, outlook on sort of what's going on in the market, the fundamentals of the company, a little bit of the technicals behind what's moving the stock, and so on and so on. And similarly, they update every now and then after the trade that they put out hits some of the target levels that they established. So it's pretty good, and I always like sharing these because it's good information as well, and it helps us look at unusual option activity from a different perspective. And this is the perspective of some experienced traders that are on CNBC and looking at these patterns and have made a lot of money in the past by looking at these patterns. So these are always pretty decent trade ideas, and wanted to share this with you guys. So with that, let's take a look at what they're talking about in this week's trade idea. So they're saying to get contracts on Microsoft. And the trade can go in either direction, right? Because of the action we've been seeing in the market. Either the market is bullish and the momentum is up, or something happens in the news that throws the momentum off, either because of stimulus talks, the government, COVID related, and etc. So this or any other news could turn the market bullish or bearish in any given situation. And they usually like to mitigate that risk by giving a sort of a shorter term trade for the week. So you can see that they're recommending buying the contracts expiring on the 31st of December. And specifically, they're saying to buy the 225 calls for $1.60. So when we look at the unusual option activity for December 31st, we see that, I guess we can filter it so that we can show all the contracts. But when we look at the unusual option activity for that expiration date, we see that the level that they're giving out of 225 is actually a pretty good indicator here. So there's a lot of open interest still left and a lot of volume that has already been traded. But when you consider the math here, there's 12,000 open interest for a total volume of 22. So this 22, remember guys, includes the 12 plus additional volume that was sold. So approximately 10,000 contracts were sold, bringing it up to 22. So there was the 12,000 that were entered, and then 10,000 were sold, bringing the total volume to 22. So this is good liquidity here. If we want to close out our positions, we'll be able to do so because there's a lot of trading happening between investors and a lot of exchanging of hands in selling or buying these contracts. So right away, that is a good sign of liquidity right there. And let's take a look at the other details they're putting out. We're seeing that they're recommending to buy the stock above the flat line of 225 in the bullish market. So they usually provide good indicators and lines that they've drawn on charts that they've proven out over history. So 225.24 falls right here, this white line right here. So buy the stock with right above this white line. It looks like we want to try to get to testing this next level of resistance. So buy it above or at the 225.24 flat line in the bullish market. And actually I prepared a summary for kind of summarize this of what they're giving. And then they're saying our first levels where we would take profit would be 228. And you can see I just kind of condensed it so that we can see it easier, but they have their target levels down here for their call position and their put position down here. So we can see that they're saying to take profits or close our position at these levels here based on the indicators that they've looked at. As we can tell, the trajectory is definitely in our favor, and we can see that this level in the past has been reached as a level of resistance. So it looks like it might be testing that level of resistance yet again, which would be a lot of potential on the upside. And then as far as setting a stop loss, they're recommending our stop loss to be with the stock coming back down to 225.24, which is this level right here, 225.24. So coming back down here, because that would be indication that the market's going back down. And on the put side, we're seeing that they're recommending the same expiration and same strike price, but for puts with the stock below this level, and then thereafter these are our profit taking levels on the downside with the stock trading at these stock prices. So you can see that 224, the next level would be this next white line right here, which is 222.89, and that is our first profit taking level there. And then our put, our stop loss on our put position would be with the stock trading back up to 225.24. So there you go, guys. That is the trade idea that was sent out by Market Rebellion. And when we look at the actual contracts themselves here, we see that 12,000 open interest comes out to be a whopping $2 million in these contracts that are still open, which is just crazy. So this is seems like a really good trade and really safe trade, at least for this week, because of the rally in some of the big tech stocks like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google. And so all these tech stocks have, and looks like will continue to have, good momentum going into this week. So remember to continue to monitor the position if you do get into this position, and specifically looking at when the open interest begins to sell off. So whenever this number goes down to 0 or gets close to going down to 0, and this number gets increased because of that sell off, then we want to be able to usually follow the smart money and sell right around that time. So just remember to monitor your positions, and also just be able to monitor the levels that they give out here. Usually pretty solid levels from my experience, so just wanted to share that with you guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you find any of this information useful. Thanks again for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos.